Understanding human behavior is based on a few small or uh, a few principles. It's not more than that. It's not really that hard to understand. The primary influence is whether or not you want to have love in your life or whether you are happy with hate in your life. And that's just the basic element of humanity. Do you want love or do you want hate? There are an awful lot of people who say, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to do it. I don't want this. I don't want that. I do want it, but I just don't want to work at it. And so they choose to be animals, which means they want what they want, and that's all that they want. So they don't want to do the work that's required for love, and they don't want to take the responsibility that is what hate will do. So they just want a cult to follow. And of course that's what they find. Somebody else to make the decision so that they can just follow along as a herd. And that's why it's called animal. So the university has, constantly said that humanity is an animal. And of course they're actually wrong unless you choose it. Because we are thinking creatures, and what we think it becomes who we are. You should remember that, because what you think, what you accept as your decision, what you choose to do, becomes your identity. So we then go to what is important to you. And that comes down to whether or not you want to think, whether you want to search for what is true, or whether you just like to believe whatever it is you want to believe. And the common answer is, I want to believe whatever I want to believe, and that's what I believe. And I don't want to believe anything I don't want to believe, and that's also becomes the truth of your life, even though it isn't true. So belief is a very, very important part of the common human experience. Unfortunately, it is generally a lie rather than a truth, and I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about what it is that you want out of your life, and therefore want governs what you believe. If you want something, then you believe something. There are people who I have found in the past who are absolutely certain, according to Bible, there was a part in there somewhere, if you believe it hard enough or enough, you can make a mountain move, kind of thing. And of course I met a guy that believed that. So I thought, okay, show me. But it was just belief. He had no real truth. At least not in the comprehensions of what he thought he had. So belief is critical, but it is not a religious thing. Religion refers to what happens after you die and how we began life. And of course we began life as miracles, literally, without any question. You can't build a human being, and that's the facts. And neither can anyone else. So what happens to us when we die is entirely up to you, whatever you want to think, because we all have to choose what it is that we are going to experience when we die. You must choose, you will choose, it's your only choice. And the consequence of that is you do behave accordingly. If you think dust to dust or whatever it is, then that's what you do without, you think there are no consequences. Or if you think there's a hate and you're going to be some kind of god or something, get everything you want, because that's what hate wants, is hate wants whatever it wants. And of course then there's love. And love says, I want to be loved, that's all. And if you choose that one and you respect the destiny that is love, which means you really cannot hate and you really cannot judge, and you really just must let truth decide, then that's what you will be. So then we come down to, if not belief, then it's fear. Fear makes us do things that we would not otherwise do. Fear makes us do things that are bad for us, and consequent to that is that we must not fear at least to the point as best we can, because fear will direct us in a path that is not thoughtful, and it is absolutely necessary to think. When you do something for your life or as your life or whatever it is, you must think, because thinking separates us from the animals. That's the difference. Thinking separates us from the animals. And we have to actually search for that truth. We have to accept that truth. We'll decide. And we have to respect the reality of the evidence as it is. You can't make it up. You can't decide that you want what you want. You can't ignore what is true. Everybody does, but it's a bad thing to do. So try not to fear any more than you absolutely have to, and try not to do anything just because you fear, and don't hide in the idea that well, I just better do it because I can't afford to be wrong, because that of course is wrong. It will have consequences beyond what you believe will happen, and there can be very, very basic and very bad. So respect is a very important thing. What you respect decides what you have a relationship with. If you don't have a respect for each other, you don't have a relationship with each other. You might, tolerate each other, but you don't have a relationship, because relationships are built upon trust, and all trust is built upon respect. So you have to have respect for yourself. If you don't respect yourself, you're not going to respect somebody else. So you have to never judge anyone, because when you judge someone, that means you're giving yourself permission to make a decision for their lives, and that's just not right. You don't have the right to make a decision for someone else's life. You don't. Your life, your body, is yours. There is no consequence to that other than it's yours. Anything that happens to your body doesn't condemn you, it just changes your life. And of course that does have effects on who you are and what you're going to do. So anyway, the difference between being a human being and being an animal is letting yourself be yourself. Respect yourself. Don't let somebody else decide for you what it is that you are going to do. It's not their right, and it is your need, because everything we do makes our identity. If you hide from truth, if you hide from reality, that is your identity. If you lie to yourself about who you are and what you need to change to do better, to do whatever it is that you think you want, you are lying. And of course that is a bad thing, which will have consequences. If you're thinking that suicide might be an answer to you, you're wrong, because suicide means you're going to murder yourself, and that means you're going to die as a murderer, and that is bad, and it has consequences. So the deal is that we must do the best we can for life and earth as best we can, as life gives us the time to do that. It doesn't matter if you do a little, it doesn't matter if you're a bum, so to speak, or the richest person on earth. Doesn't matter, because you can only do what you can do, and if you do that, then you did the best you could, because that's all I have. You can't do more than what you are, can't do more, give more than what you have. You must accept what is true. So these are just simple things, and they do point to who you are and what you do, and when you're going to make a decision and what direction you go, and things like that. Addictions of all kinds are based upon what you want. So in other words, to get rid of an addiction, you have to decide to want something else. You have to decide to want something else. It says, no, not me. I refuse. Not just no, no, I refuse. So that is very important to understand about, addictive behavior. And then there is chemical addiction. And that's a little bit harder, but the truth of the matter is that you can simply stop it. You can, face your truth and accept the idea that this is more hate than it is anything else. And if you don't stop the hate, it will take over your life. And if it takes over your life, you're going to judge people, and then you're going to turn to violence, and then you're going to turn to chaos, and then you're going to turn to all things that are bad for you, and be lost in a place where you find it hard to escape. So don't do that. Go ahead and say, no, I won't. Literally, no, I won't. Because it's my life and it's my choice, and I don't have to do anything that chemicals or addiction or any of that causes. And of course, lust is caused by chemical addiction. It is men in particular. I have no idea what women experience, but men in particular find it to be a toy or a pleasant thing, and so they want more, and so they become addicted to that until they are not addicted to that. And you have to accept the fact that your life, your penis, your whatever, is not a toy. It is in fact something that can make a difference in your world and someone else's world, and you can in fact help someone, or you can in fact be of value or not. You just need to understand that choices are choices, and don't follow. Make a choice. So we have a cult, a university knows here in this nation. And the cult says that every cult is the same. Every cult says that you must accept whatever it is that the leader says. That's what a cult is. You can't question the leader. The leader is right, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what he or she says, the leader is right. And of course, the courts and the politicians and the schools and everybody says the university is the expert. You can't question the expert. So it is a cult. And the cult says that they're right no matter what. Oh, I got a book, just like every religion does. I got a book. And the end result of that is that their book is wrong. A lot of the time. Their book is wrong. And so you cannot really believe your former classmates, which is all they are. They're just former classmates. And for whatever reason, they're in a position that lets them tell you what you are supposed to think. And media, of course, repeats that. And if you